of engaging God. You see, we have to engage God for the heavens to open and remain open. We have to engage God. If we don't engage God, God will relax. The heavens will remain closed, and we are the ones to suffer or to miss what He is meant for us. This is supposed to be the fourth one, is it? The fourth one, fourth component. The first one was what? If you are following me, the first one was prayer. The second one was fasting. The third was sacrifice. And we are looking at the fourth component of engaging God, and that is obedience. What does your son? Let us say, all of us say obedience.
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 Bwana asifiwe sana. Obedience is very, very key. In fact, you know, each time we look at every key, it looks like it's more important than the other. when you look at prayer, it is like without prayer, there is no way you can reach God. There is no way you can open the heavens. You look at fasting, it is so critical, so crucial. It has its part that only it can do. When you look at sacrifice, it is like everything. Now when we come to obedience, obedience is so important. In fact, when you hear God talk about obedience, it is like without obedience, actually you cannot touch God. You cannot reach God. So obedience is very, very key. Now, somebody has said that obedience is yielding to persuasion and submitting to one's authority, command, or wishes. asifiwe sana. That obedience is what? Yielding to persuasion and submitting to one's authority, command, or wishes. That is what obedience is. That means somebody can influence you in a certain direction. If you agree with that person and go that direction, you have obeyed that person. What does we say? Somebody with authority can command you to do something. If you obey that command, then you have obeyed. Okay, that's obedience. What does we say? Somebody can express his wish. What does we say? He can express his or her wish to you. If you are influenced by that wish and you go by that wish, you obey that wish and do what he wishes to do. Very good example. When David was holed up in a barrack somewhere, there were enemy armies that were surrounding that area. They were looking for David to kill him. But he had his mighty men, warriors, who didn't fear anything. Even if the armies outnumbered them, they feared nothing because they were mighty warriors. A man who killed 600 men alone. Such were the people that were surrounding or were with David. And David, out of a desire, expressed, "Oh, how I wish somebody could get me water from the gate of Jerusalem to drink. From the well at the gate of Jerusalem." He just expressed a wish. And that wish to the men of David was like a command. He expressed a wish, but that wish to them, it was like a command. He did not tell them to do it. He just expressed his wish. And these men took it upon themselves. They were influenced by that wish. And then 2 men, warriors, mighty men, they broke right through the enemy armies. They fought their way all the way to the gate of Jerusalem, drew water and fought through again and brought water to David. They obeyed the wish of David. That is obedience. If there is any expression of obedience or allegiance, that was one of them. That pleased David beyond what he could handle. He said, "Man, you put your life at risk. There is no way I can't believe that you did it. You went through the enemy armies, the ranks of the enemy armies, and you have brought me water. If I drink this water, it will be like I have drunk your blood, your life." He didn't drink that water. Instead, he took that water and poured it as a sacrifice to the Lord. He says, "It is only God who deserves your life." That is obedience. That is obedience. That's what God expects from us. Disobedience is the opposite of it. Going against the commands of that one in authority, despising or ignoring the wishes of that one who is in charge, or actually failing to be influenced by the wishes of the person who is you are connected to. That is disobedience. Now, another good example that I can use is the first man. The first man or the first Adam. The first Adam disobeyed God. And when he disobeyed God, he plunged the whole humanity into sin. He plunged the whole humanity into sin, but as the Son, he plunged the whole humanity into disobedience. Hallelujah. They disobeyed God. And because of this, he distanced himself from God. In fact, he disengaged from God. Adam and God were great friends. Great friends. God loved Adam so much that in the cool of the evening every day, God could come down and talk with Adam as a man talks with his friend. And after they have fellowship together, he would go back up and let Adam be on his own. They were so engaged. They were friends. But a time came when Adam disobeyed God, when he disobeyed God, and his disobedience disengaged him from God. That when he sinned, God came down just the same way that he used to do in the evening. That evening he came down and he couldn't find Adam. He could see Adam. He wondered, where are you, Adam? He called out. And Adam said, I am hiding. Why? Why are you hiding? Have you disobeyed me? Now, instead of Adam saying, yes, I did, he said, the woman you gave. One has feel sad. Anyway. No, let me not say, sisters can think that I'm against sisters, but let me stop it there. Now, when he disobeyed God, he also disengaged from God. He was at a distance that God could not reach him. Do you know that from that moment on, the nearest man has come to God is when Jesus Christ came back. Yes, came back when Jesus Christ came. That's the nearest a human being has gotten close to God. Never again. Adam never was close to God again. Why? He disengaged from God. So obedience engages us with God. Disobedience disengages us and distances us from God. So the second Adam, who is Jesus Christ, the second Adam, who is Jesus Christ, the perfect obedience of the second man, Adam, that is Jesus Christ. It is what brought him so close to God. When Adam, the second Adam, came into the world, because of his obedience. When you read, I think it's in Philippians also, he said that he was lifted to the highest place anything has ever. Given the most excellent name, like it has never been given to any other being, and he's seated on the right hand of the Father. Why? It's because of his obedience. Because of his obedience. Because of his obedience. What has your son? Yeah. Now, this obedience and the disobedience of the first man Adam and the obedience of the second Adam, these are decisive factors in the destiny of every one of us. What has your son? Adam's disobedience displaced him, disengaged him from God, and plunged mankind into guilt, condemnation, and death. If you can give me Romans chapter 5 verse 19, Romans chapter 5 verse 19, then 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 22, we want to see first man did to us with his disobedience. Romans chapter 5 verse 19 says, for as by one man's disobedience many were sinners, made sinners. Okay, let's read afresh. 3, 4.
For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so also by one man's obedience many will be made righteous.
You see, these two have set standards or levels depending on which Adam you are with, which man you are with. Either you are disobedient or you are obedient. And if you are disobedient, you are a sinner. If you are obedient, you are made righteous. What does this say? 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 22. 15:22 of 1 Corinthians. It's not in your Bible. 22, not 2. Verse 22. What does it say?
For as in Adam all died, even so in Christ shall be made alive.
Now, listen to me, beloved. All those people without Christ, they are Adam. All people without Christ, they are Adam. And they are dead. So even if they are alive, they are eating with us ugali and sukuma wiki and whatever. Hata ukimwona anauma nyama mpaka akasema hii nyama tamu, ujue tu amekufa. Bwana asifiwe sana. It's not me saying. It's the Bible saying. Bwana asifiwe sana. But those that are in Christ Jesus, even if they are dead, they are living. Bwana asifiwe sana. That is the Bible. Even when they are dead, they are made alive. Bwana asifiwe sana. So, because of his obedience, Christ's unfailing obedience unto death, in Philippians chapter 2 verse 8. In Philippians chapter 2 verse 8. This unfailing obedience, one righteousness. It won righteousness for us. That is acceptance with God. We are accepted by God. And life, we are accepted by God. That is, we want righteousness and life. That is fellowship with God. For all who believe on Christ, they are alive. What does it say? What does it say in Philippians 2:8?
And being about the appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even the death of the cross.
Now, please give us what? Hebrews 5:8. Hebrews 5:8. Then we will read Hebrews 10:5-10. That's to go together with Philippians 8:2-8. What does it say? Yes, though he was a son, but he learned obedience by the things he suffered. What does it say? By the things he suffered. Give me 10, Hebrews 10. Reading from verse 5. Hebrews 10, reading from verse 5. Let's go. Let's read together.
Called by God as high priest,
according to the order of Melchizedek. I said from verse 5 to 10.
It is there. Therefore.
We even as verse 10. Okay, let's read it from verse 5.
Therefore, when he came into the world,
He said,
sacrifice and offering is not desired, but that only you are prepared for me. In the blood
Not at all.
Then I say, behold, I have found the volume of the book.
It is written of me to do your will. To do your will. That is obedience. Let's move on.
Readers is saying, sacrifice and offering, burnt offerings, and offerings of sin, you will not desire.
Or again, pleasure death, which are offered according to the law. Then he said, behold, I have come to do your will, O God. He takes away the first, that he may establish the second.
But I have been sacrificed through the offering of the body of Jesus once for all.
Amen. What we are saying that all that he did as giving himself, instead of burnt offerings, for those of you who are attending the Bible discovery, we were dealing with what? Incarnation and all that, crucifixion. It is sacrifice. But all that we are saying, whatever he did, whatever he went through, it was because of his obedience to the Father, to the Father's will. It was obedience to the Father's will. Please give me Romans chapter 5, Romans 5:15 to 19. We are still following what obedience is telling us. How God values and honors obedience. Romans chapter 5, verse 15 to 19. It's, what does it say? But the free gift is not like the offense. For if by one man's offense many died, much more the grace of God and the gift by the grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, abounded to many. And the gift is not
The judgment which came from one is the one man's offense great through the one, much more also receive abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness given by the one Jesus Christ. Therefore, as through one man's offense judgment came for all men, resulting in condemnation, even so through one man's
Amen. Lastly, amen. So you can see how important obedience is. How actually obedience can not just cost Jesus to engage with the Father, but also it allowed us also to engage with God, so that we are not led at the mercies of death, but actually we are given life. We are made righteous. The Bible is full of examples of both sides, the disobedient and the obedient. The disobedient disengage with God, and in most cases suffer the consequences. And I can give quite a number of examples. The obedient and the obedient engage, the disobedient disengage, and the obedient engage with God, and they also enjoy the consequences. Now, as I've said, there are so many examples in the scriptures that actually we can see both sides, the disobedient and the obedient. Now, we have already talked about Adam and Jesus Christ, who Jesus Christ is referred to as the second man, Adam is referred to as the first man. We can see the consequences of disobeying God. It has brought all evil. It changed the whole plan of God for man. But we can also see the obedience of one person, Jesus Christ, what it has done to man. It again changed the whole destiny of man, particularly those who obey God. Their destiny is different as from that which was said when man sinned, when man disobeyed God. Another good example, this one you can start on your own. I'm giving you examples. We're going to look at one, but I want you to consider those that you go and read yourself. When you read in the book of Samuel, First Samuel, that one I'm not giving you a particular scripture. Just read from chapter 1, you will see. You will realize that there was King Saul, the king of Israel, who disobeyed God in many ways. And as a result of him disobeying God, he disengaged himself from God. And God said, I have rejected you. I have rejected you. Why? Because of disobedience. Disobedience is a sin that God holds very seriously. In fact, it is said that it is worse than students of the Bible. Disobedience is worse than? No. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Disobedience is worse than the sin of witchcraft. So if you are disobeying instructions, authorities, and then you are laughing at witch doctors, they say you are worse than those witch doctors. Yeah, that's the Bible. If you are just sitting in the house, you are disobeying. Mungu anasema lipa saka, lipa fungu la 10, ulipi, uko na pesa, you are earning and you are not paying. And you are laughing, you are saying these people are wicked. Unaona waganga wanaweka vitakarada, unakuwa this Mungu uue hao watu. Unajua kile akiua hataanza na wewe. Because the Bible it does not hide things, and it's not shy. The Bible is not shy of saying some things. So if you know that you are disobeying, please change, because you are the ones that are a witch doctor. Change. When we give instructions, follow them. When the government gives instructions, follow them. The government is an agent of God. Of course, there are some wicked governments, but it's assumed that it's an agent of God. We as pastors here, we are agents of God. We are representatives of God. And when we tell you to do something, we're not doing it for ourselves. Unless actually you know, and you know that unafanya tu kwa sababu yako. But when we are basing whatever instructions we give based on the word, then you can be sure that we are representing God. You had better obey. If I give you something that is contrary, if I preach here something that's contrary to the Bible, please don't sit here another Sunday. Find a better place where you can be taught the word of God. Hallelujah. I will teach the word of God. I will preach the word of God. I will tell you what the word of God says. And if you are in doubt, if you don't understand, please, I am very much available. My office is open. Come and ask. Amen? Amen. Hallelujah. So, but if I am preaching the word of God and you are disobeying, then you are not afraid of God. You are not afraid of God. So what we are saying is this: Saul Saul disobeyed God in many ways until God got tired of him. And he said, I have rejected you. I have found somebody else for myself who will rule over Israel. Now, this other person that he found is a man we call David. And he calls him the man after my own heart. One is because David obeyed God in everything. David engaged God. So that even when David sinned, do you know, David did a worse sin that ever Saul did. Saul only disobeyed God by bringing things that God told him don't bring, don't take. God told him, go and kill everything, destroy everything. He did not. Saul ate something, went and offered sacrifice in the house of God, which he was not supposed to do. He ignored the servant of God Samuel. Now, when you compare Saul and what David did, David went and took somebody's wife. Slept with another man's wife. Not only that, actually he took the husband of this woman, went and put him at the front and killed him. Which one is worse? Okay, humanly speaking. Humanly speaking, David did worse things than Saul did. But you know what? God still calls David a man after my own heart. He actually attributes the nation of Israel to David. He says the ruler, the eternal ruler of Israel will come through the house of David. Praise the Lord. David engaged God and never disengaged until he went to heaven. Why? It's because David obeyed God in everything. Even when he sinned and he was told by the prophet, you are the one who has caused this sin, he put up his kingly robes, put on sackcloth, applied upon himself, smeared himself with the ash, and slept outside crying to God for forgiveness. He obeyed God. There is nothing that David did without going to God and asking God, God, what do I do? Is this right for me to do or wrong? David never did anything until he heard from God. But Saul just woke up and did things the way he thought himself. Now, if you want God to be your friend, if you want God to get involved in your affairs, if you want God to value, to hold you up, to be intimate, if you want to be intimate with God, you must obey Him in everything that He tells you. How are you going to know what you need to obey? Read the Word of God. All His instructions, all His promises, all His commands, decrees, precepts, they are all here. If you read this, understand and obey them, you will be intimate with God. You will be intimate with God. And if you are intimate with God, there is nothing you will miss from God. God will not pass by you without telling you what He intends to do. Even when He wants to do something in this church, and you are intimate with God, He will come and tell you, there is something that I want to do in the church. You will know. So even if I come up with an announcement here, you will tell me, Pastor, God has showed me this thing. Praise the Lord. Amen. You will know because you are intimate with God. You are close to God. Why? It's because you are obeying Him in everything that He commands. Obedience. The other people are people like Noah. Noah was an old man, and God comes to him and tells him, by the way, there is so much sin in the earth. I'm going to destroy everything with water. I want you to build an ark to save you and your family. I'm going to destroy everything else. Now, Noah had not seen rain for many years because he was living in the desert. For many years, he had not seen rain. And even when he told the people that God is going to destroy the world with water, they laughed at him and said, this old man is crazy. There has never been rain for so many years. Where is rain going to come from to kill us? In fact, we know for that rain. See, even they said that rain should come quickly so that it can kill them, because they knew that it can't kill them. All they needed was rain. So they laughed him off and abused him and called him names. But Noah took God at his word and obeyed him. As foolish as it appeared, he still believed God. He still believed that actually God is going to destroy this world with water. Where it was going to come from, it is God's business, it's not his business with it. There are times God tells you to do something and you start wondering, how is it going to work? By the way, I'm a victim. I'm not just talking about you. I start using my mind to work out, how is it going to work? Okay, God tells me, next year, I'll be in my own house. My salary is only 20,000 shillings. By the time I get my salary, it is already used up. In my own house, 3 bedrooms, how is it going to happen? I start calculating and say, it's impossible, it can't work. So I conclude it can't work. Nimekata Mungu from doing what he wants. Noah did use his brains. He did use his intellect. By the way, the things of God, if you start using your intellect, if you start using your brain, you will never walk with God. Never. God wants faith which leads to obedience. Just obey what he says. Mary, the mother of Jesus in the wedding of Cana of Galilee, comes to this servant after the wine had run off. He finds the young man there, the servants in the wedding, servants, and he comes and tells Jesus, by the way, their wine is off, it's finished, and the wedding is still going on. Do something. And he tells the young man, whatever he says, do it. Just obey, don't ask questions. He was telling them, don't ask questions. Whatever he says, do what? Do it. And that's exactly what this young man did. When Jesus told them, fill those pots with water, they didn't ask for what? They didn't ask. They said it is wine that is finished, not water. We have enough water. All they did is they had filled those pots with water. They went and drew water and filled the pots. And when they filled the pot, they said, with the food we are finished. And he said, draw and take it to the master of ceremony. But this is water. They don't need water. They didn't ask questions. The fellow just drew the water and carried it to the master of ceremony. And the master of ceremony, out of ignorance, he did not know what was going on. He just drank. It didn't taste water. By the way, the Bible does not say that Jesus added something into the water. It does not say that Jesus went and laid hands on those pots. No. He was not even near. He only told them, fill those pots with water. They did. So draw the water, draw and take it to the master of ceremony. They did. And when the master of ceremony tasted, it was a unique wine. Some drunkards or some, they use that as a reason to drink. I tell them, if you can perform a miracle, put water in here, call upon the name of the Lord, and it turns out to be wine, I will drink. But when you taken 3-4 days, you a whole week to prepare, put yeast and That is alcohol. I can't drink. I can never drink. Amen. So, what we are saying is this: obedience is what God is looking for. Obedience. Noah believed God in spite of the circumstances. Circumstances were not conducive for him to do what he did. The circumstances couldn't explain him to do what he did, but he obeyed God nevertheless. Abraham was told, kill your son. Kill your son. Abraham did not ask questions. So weird. My son, my only son, in whom all the promises that you have given me are going to be fulfilled. Yet you want me to kill him. He did not ask a question. He did not reason. Let me tell you, don't use your brain if you want to work with God. Use faith. That is the only way you will succeed with God. That's the only way you will walk with God. Hallelujah. It's like a blind man. When you are being led by somebody amekushika mkono na usimuulize mbona unanipeleka huku, unanipeleka wapi? I mean, you just follow where he's leading you. As it were, we are blind men being led by the Holy Spirit. We can only follow and do what he says we do. If we want to start reasoning, thinking now, I think this direction is not good and you are blind, how do you reason with somebody who is seeing and you are blind? Tell him, don't take me there. Hallelujah. Amen. Abraham was told, kill your son. He didn't ask questions. He went to kill his son. And God himself intervened. But he knew that this man loves me. He has obeyed me in the very most difficult thing. He has obeyed me. Some of us, there are very simple things. Very simple things. Mungu anakuuliza ufanye kitu rahisi. You cannot even compare to Isaac. You cannot even compare to Noah. You cannot even compare to Mary, the mother of Jesus. The angel comes and tells him, wewe utapata mtoto, utakuwa na mimba. Mimba? Mimi sijajua mwanaume. Na hata yule ambaye ninampenda hatujajuana. Hata sasa wewe unataka kuniletea shida. Malaika wewe unataka kuniletea shida. Mimi nataka kuolewa. Sasa wewe unataka mimi niachwe, nitafanya namna gani? Kile Mary alisema, na iwe hivyo kwa mtumishi wako vile umesema. Bwana asifiwe sana. Obedience. She obeyed the word of the Lord. Friends, if we are going to live a life of obedience to God, our lives will never ever be the same. Our ordinary lives, our ordinary things that we have will turn out to be extraordinary. Because it is our obedience that turns us into extraordinary people. David was turned into a mighty man, not because he was great, he was big. In fact, his brothers were more bigger than he was, more intelligent, more army-like. They were more worthy to be kings than David. But because God saw the heart of David is a heart of obedience, he chose this small boy and made him king over Israel to rule over his own brothers because of his obedience. What is it that you want from the Lord? What do you want God to do for you? Be obedient to him. Amen. Then you will have what you want from God. What does this say? Now, time just fails me to talk about the widow of Saika. We talked about it last Sunday. This prophet comes and tells her, give me some water. As she goes to bring water, he says, no. On top of that, bring me bread. And she says, I have no bread. Whatever I have is little unga and little oil. I'm collecting these sticks to go and make bread for me and my son. We eat and we die. Nothing more. And the man tells him, no, go and do what you have said, prepare. But before you eat, bring it to me. fast. Bring it to me fast. Now the lady wondered, this man wants me and my son dead completely just now before even but she obeys. She goes and prepares and brings to the servant of the Lord fast. The servant of the Lord eats and he said, now you gotta go and prepare yours and your son. She goes back and she finds there's still enough unga in the jar. There is enough oil in the bottle. She prepares. That was for lunch. Evening comes, there is still enough to make enough for him, for them and the prophet. And they ate until 3.5 years were over. She obeyed. I want to challenge you. Obey. Hallelujah. Obey. And you will never be disappointed in your life as a child of God. Joseph, the husband to make the mother of Jesus, he loved that girl. And those of you who are married, you are in love at one time, and you know how beautiful that is. It is beautiful to love, isn't it? Isn't it, Celeste? It is beautiful to love and to be loved. Particularly to be loved by a young man, to be loved by a young girl. I mean, it's been a story yangu hapa mara mingi. Bwana Swesa. Nilikuwa naenda na it was number 7, 97. 97 is beyond Nairobi. It's outside Nairobi boundary. 87. It's beyond. It's like you go as if you are going to Naivasha. Kino. It's outside Nairobi. And it was incidental. We used to work in the same office. Although me sometimes my work would take me beyond the hours. But just because of love, I would do everything possible so that I finish everything on time. So that I'm escorted to Paka, Kino, 87. And I sit there until 9 something when the last bus is coming. The Kenya buses of those days, they were powerful vehicles. When it starts kunguruma huko inalia, unajua tu that Kenya bus is coming. So when we hear it coming from down, it's coming down, then I rush out of the house, attack na kitu. Usiku. Where am I going? I'm going to Umoja. Bwana Swesa. It's because of love. It's beautiful. Joseph loves a young woman called Mary. And Mary, I don't know why, whether she was beautiful because the Bible says, isn't it? She was beautiful. Joseph loved this girl. And then he comes to see, hey, Mary, what's happening? Why are you becoming so round? Eh? So Mary could not hide anymore. She tells him, by the way, the angel told me that I'll happen. You know, you tell an African man, the angel told me that. Yani, unanifikiria mimi ni nini? Mimi ni mtoto wa kudanganya. What are you telling me? I don't use my brain. You're telling me an angel. Did you sleep with an angel? I mean, you cannot convince a man that you have gotten a pregnant from an angel from just the words he spoke. If Joseph behaved like a man, he would have really abused this girl and called her names prostitute and all that, and left and gone. But this is a man who feared God. He decided that, okay, this has happened. I will not expose this girl. It's somebody I love. By the way, young men, let me tell you, if you love somebody, that person is worth respect. Respect her, whether you will marry her or not, respect her. If she was not respectful, you need to have gone to her. Respect that young girl until you get married. And if you don't get married, still respect. Don't start scandalizing her. So Joseph said, I think I'll secretly just in your magic. Wasijue nini ilifanyika so that I don't expose her. And so Joseph makes up his mind. I'm going to put her away, but secretly. And so he goes and sleeps at night. Even sleep doesn't come, because how can I miss such a wonderful woman? And at some point she closes his eyes, because the night is long. At least you must doze somehow. And as he dozes, the angel of the Lord appears to him and says, Joseph, don't fear to take Mary, your wife. What she's carrying is holy. It is of God. He's the Son of God. When he brings forth that child, you call his name Jesus. And just imagine a man believes that and he says, okay, my plans, I set them aside. I'll take this woman to be my wife. Obedience. He obeyed a dream. He obeyed a dream. An angel who comes in a dream. When you obey God, God will do great things for you. Lastly, let me focus on this. There is a man, a prophet of God called Hosea. Is Hosea in the New Testament or Old Testament? Hallelujah. I should have said Bible. Hosea is a prophet of man, or of God. And he is prophesying among the Israelites. These Israelites have rebelled against God. They have sinned against God. They are rebellious. They do things that are not good. They leave God and go worship other idols, and God compares them to a prostitute who leaves her husband and goes wandering around, comes back, goes around and comes back. Do we have such a people? No, I'm not saying here. I'm not here. Do we have such a people in the society? Yes, I'm not meaning here. So God feels so bad, and he wants to show these people the kind of people they are, and he decides to use Hosea to demonstrate to the Israelites. And he tells Hosea, let me give you a scripture, then we can that is Hosea chapter 1. Hosea chapter 1, we will read from verse 1, I think verse 1 to 11. I may read or I may not read. You may read it for yourself. God speaks to Hosea and tells Hosea, these people, the Israelites, they have misbehaved to me. They have misbehaved to me. And I want you to prophesy to them. And for me to demonstrate, I'm going to ask you to do something. I want you to go and marry a woman that is going to be unfaithful to you, a prostitute. I think is that Jimmy? Is he Jimmy? Huh? Who? Emmanuel. Emmanuel, let's go to verse 3. So this is, okay, the first one are just instructions explaining, and God asking him. Maybe let's start from verse 2. So, when the Lord began to speak by Hosea, the Lord said to Hosea, go, take yourself a wife of harlotry and children of harlotry, for the land has committed great harlotry by departing from the Lord. So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of the blind, and she conceived and bore him a son. Those are the children of harlotry. Then the Lord said to him, call his name Jezreel. What does it mean? It means, for in a little while I will avenge the blood of Jezreel on the house of Jehu, and bring an end to the kingdom of his house. There was this man called Jezreel, and God said he's going to avenge, because they are the ones that have introduced idolatry into Israel, and they have caused the nation of Israel to depart from God. And so he says, you will call this name the son Jezreel. What has the son? It shall come to pass in that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. That means they will be defeated. They will be defeated by the enemy. Verse 6. And she conceived again and bore a daughter. Then God said to him, call her name Loruhamah, for I will no longer have mercy on the house of Israel. That means I will no longer have mercy on the house of Israel, but I will utterly take them away. I will scatter them into exile. Yet I will have mercy on the house of Judah, will save them by the Lord their God, and will not save them by the bow, nor by the sword, nor battle, by horses or horsemen. Now, when she had weaned Loruhamah, she conceived and bore a son. Then God said, call his name Lo-Ami, for you are not my people, and I will not be your God. I have rejected you. It's because of idolatry or harlotry, because they have gone to other gods, committing sin with other gods. They have left the Lord their God. And it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And it shall come to pass in the place where it was said to them, you are not my people, there it shall be said to them, you are sons of the living God. That is Judah, yeah? Then he said, then the children of Judah and the children of Israel shall be gathered together and appoint for themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land. For great will be the day of Jezreel. Now, this one, what I wanted to bring out here is that God tells Hosea that you are going to marry a prostitute. It is very difficult to imagine actually Hosea's feelings. No, first of all, Hosea is a prophet. He's a prophet of God. He's a God-fearing man. And God tells him, you go marry a prostitute. That is one of the very hardest things. It is like me here. Yeah, me here. I'm preaching here. Been preaching here. And then The Lord tells me go and marry. I don't know whether you know any prostitute. That one, you know that one. God tells me go and. Now, unaona mimi nakuja hapa na mtu sasa huyu ndiye bibi yako. A prostitute ile mimi mnajua kweli ile ule mwenyewe mangai ule mwenyewe. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? I don't know what was going on in the heart or the mind of Hosea. Mimi kama mimi ningesema Mungu huyo si Mungu, nitakemea hiyo sauti sana, shetani kaa mbali na mimi. Bwana asifiwe sana. I will rebuke that voice. But Hosea knew the voice of God. And even if I know the voice of God, sure, in my time now, I will say, God, you utanisame tu mimi. You sitafanya. I will argue with God. But Hosea did not argue with God. What did he do? He obeyed. Went and married Gomer, a well-known prostitute. And he gave him children, 3 children. And some people, some school of thought believe that this woman would come be with Hosea for some time, anapata mimba, alafu akizaa anapotea. Naenda kwa watu wengine, anazunguka watu wengine. Hosea anaenda anamtafuta huko, anamsakanya huko kwa vijiji nini, anamrudisha nyumbani. Wanakaa, anapata mtoto mwingine, anapotea tena, anaenda. I mean, there are people who say so because she was a prostitute. But this fact that Hosea actually accepted, believed in God, that God is able to tell me something like this, he will be able to take care of it. It's not easy. This is a very hard thing to do. But as we said, I don't know what he was feeling. Hallelujah. God often requires, many times, God requires extraordinary obedience from his people. Prophets, teachers, apostles, bishops, and even his children, he requires extraordinary obedience from his people who are facing extraordinary times. We are in times when actually we can only rely on God. And in these times, God expects extraordinary obedience. Similarly, God may ask you to do something difficult and extraordinary. He will ask you, not he may. That one I'm sure, he will ask you. And he's going to ask you, maybe even now, as I'm talking, today, maybe this week, he's going to ask you to do something that is difficult and extraordinary. Just like he asked Hosea to marry a prostitute, and he is the servant of the Lord. He's a prophet. If he does, what will you do? What will be your response? What will be your reaction? Will you start using your praise? My dignity, I just can't. I can't lower myself to that. I cannot do this. It is not possible. Yet it is God who has actually told you to do. Do you trust him? Do you believe that he is God? Do you believe that he is able to do everything that he actually asks you to do? Will you obey him? Will you trust him? Will you believe in him, knowing that actually he is able to do everything? He knows everything, and he can do anything, knowing that whatever he's asking you, he has a special purpose for it. Will you be able to accept the fact that pain involved in your obedience to God may benefit even other people, not even you personally, not even you individually? One thing I can tell you is that when you obey God, you will be intimate with God. You will be intimate with God. You will be in love with God. You will engage with God. And things will always work out. When God does something, He knows that it will work out. And it will work out according to His purpose. It will work out according to His will. It will work out for His own glory. And if it works out through you as the agent, then you will never remain the same. If you obey and do it, you will never remain the same. David brought glory to God in his life, in his service to the nation of Israel. He brought glory to God, but David never remained the same. We still remember David to today. Mary brought glory to God by carrying the Son of God. Because she obeyed, she could have argued and said, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. I don't want to lose my fiancé. But she obeyed. She brought glory to God. And she never remained the same. We remember, people revere her. The Catholics worship her. They think that even she's greater than Jesus. They pray to her or pray through her. Hallelujah. I can mention so many or say that we have said. Brought glory to God. He never remained the same. You will never remain the same if you obey God and you fulfill that which He decides. If you can be an agent of God to fulfill His purposes, if you can obey Him and do what He wants, you will never remain the same. You will be somebody to be celebrated throughout the world, if not the community that you are. Hallelujah. I will stop there. I wanted to finish obedience, go to humility, but time has not allowed me. I will stop there on obedience, and then we will see what happens. What happens next Sunday. I have said that I will finish next Sunday with by hook or crook, by force, by fire. I'll finish next week. I still have, like I told you, I have humility, studying and meditation of the Word of God, faith, and then taking up responsibilities as a son in the kingdom. I don't know what I will do, but I know the Lord is faithful. Bwana asifiwe sana. Amen. Are you blessed? Yes. Shall we rise on our feet?